Remember I said negative feedback? But if you start to release too much glucagon and your blood sugar what? Goes a little too high, then you'll release what? Growth hormone, remember GHIH? You release your somatostatin, which will tell the cells, you stop releasing glucagon. Okay, so it's a backup mechanism. In other words, if the negative feedback doesn't work, you can release GHIH. Make sense? Shut it down. Done with glucagon. Fine. Let's do insulin. What do you remember about insulin? It is the only hormone that lowers blood sugar. If they ask you on a board, what does growth hormone do? You know that raises blood sugar. What does thyroxine do? Raises it a little. What does glucagon do? It raises blood sugar. What do glucocorticoids do? Really raise what? Blood sugar. Epinephrine causes the breakdown of glycogen, raises blood sugar. Everything raises blood sugar. Isn't that easy? What's the only hormone that lowers it? Insulin. So remember that. Sometimes they'll try to trick you and say there's such and such hormone. Which of the following hormones lowers blood sugar, right? And they may have insulin, then they may have glucagon, and they may have glucocorticoids, and then they'll say A and B, B and C. And those are wrong. The answer is just insulin. So how does insulin decrease blood sugar? I'll do this for you slowly. Ready? You're going to write? It increases glucose uptake. It increases glucose uptake into muscle, fat, and connective tissue. It increases what? Glucose uptake by active transport into which cells? Muscle, fat, and connective tissue. Which are the only tissues that don't use insulin? Epithelium and nerve, right? Brain does not need insulin, right? Thank God, because if you had what? Low insulin, you what? Your brain wouldn't work. So your brain does not require insulin. Spinal cord doesn't. Nervous tissue does not require insulin. Fair enough? How else does it lower blood sugar? Well, I'm telling all these tissues, take up glucose, take it out of the blood, and I will also increase with insulin glycogenesis, which you remember is you take a whole bunch of glucoses and you make glycogen. So that's going to lower your blood sugar. Make sense? What else is it going to do? It's going to decrease gluconeogenesis. It's going to say, don't what? Make new glucose from fat and amino acids. And the last thing, I really got my glucose is too high. Insulin will, you ready? Increase your old friend lipogenesis. It will not only tell you to what? Send glucose into what? Fat cells. It will increase what? Changing of glucose into fat. Okay? So it cannot leak out of fat cells. Pretty good. That's going to lower what? Blood sugar. Okay. I got two more effects of insulin, which are really interesting. If your blood amino acids are high, you release insulin. Remember I told you if your blood sugar is high, you release insulin? When else do you release insulin? When the amount of amino acids in your blood is high. And then what does insulin do? It increases amino acid entry into cells, and it increases protein synthesis. Say that again. If your blood amino acids is high, if blood AA is high, what do? You release insulin. What does insulin do? Increases amino acid entry into cells. which cells? Mostly, not so much fat, but muscle. And then it says build what? Proteins. What kind of proteins? What kind of proteins would I be building if I increase amino acid into muscle cells? Muscle proteins like actin and myosin and troponin. Remember those in that stuff?
Yeah.
So if you begin working out, you want to get what? Big muscles? As you're working out, and you're eating, most weightlifters eat what? A good protein diet, you're going to release insulin to do what? To take amino acids into the muscle cells mostly, and change the amino acids into muscle protein. And you go, wow, but the insulin is also going to cause my blood sugar to go down. So my other glands, which ones? My, right? Pituitary will make some growth hormone, which will what? Help raise blood sugar. The adrenal will make what? Adrenal glucocorticoids. It's in the name glucocorticoids like cortisol and cortisol, which will what? Help raise your blood sugar. And here's the big surprise. You'll also release glucagon, which will what? Help raise your blood sugar. So here, so on the sugar end, what's happening? You're releasing a lot of insulin, which is telling you what? Blood sugar to go down, but it's also telling you to what? Take in amino acids and make protein. But the other glands are saying, well, we're not going to let you lower the blood sugar what? Too low. We will what? Release our hormones, counteract to a drop in blood sugar. Make sense? And so I stop at this point to tell you something really interesting. When you screw around with hormones, when people do it, there are people out there who are getting, for example, growth hormone shots because they really believe, and it's illegal by the way, that it's going to make them, prevent them from aging. There was that woman, who wants to stay young and take growth. And so, you know what? They take the growth hormone, it screws up their whole sugar thing. It